Okay, now that we know that what we have to do, so now you can see this is my Visual Studio Code, and here I have all these files. If you can see here, I have all these resultant files, and I have this code as well, and I have this main file which is being worked upon by this code, and we have a log file as well which logs everything. So let's begin. First of all, let me show you one repo. Uh, this repo name you will find in the description of this video, and if you are familiar with GitHub, then you can directly go to my page, and then you can either copy it directly, you can download it as a zip file, you can download it as a repository. It's up to you. So basically here in this folder you will find this Excel file on which we are working. You will find the exact code as well. You will find all the code here, and the resultant files are also here. So everything is available on this repository and you can access it. We will build this. I will build it from scratch, but you can, if at any point if you need, you can directly go and you can start working on it on your own. So okay, so let me make a new file. I will go file and then I will open a new file, and that will be a Python file, and let me name it as solution. So started working on it. If you remember in my initial videos, my point was that we will work with the example. I mean, we will not start learning Python. We will just start solving the problem. So let me open a Google tab and let's write something. So because we want to work on Excel, you guys have some idea of Excel. So we know that we want to work on pivot table in Excel using Python. And what I want here, if you see even in this list, you have seen this, there's a name of pandas coming. So best tool to work on pivot table using Python. So if you see here, it's saying the Microsoft will be intimately familiar with these pivot tables dash dash dash. Now it's saying a pandas pivot table. So I just wanted to show you that I have not chosen pandas, or we have not gone to any Python book to know this name. We will try to work on it using our normal, I mean, assuming that we don't know anything about Python and we don't know anything about Python libraries. So we will ask everything from Google and we will work based on that. So as we asked from Google that, okay, we have a problem, we need to do something with an Excel sheet using pivot table. So Excel told us that if we want to do something similar to that, we need to work through pandas. So now we will go step by step. So I will say how to use pandas in Python. So let's see how it says. So it says Python, pandas is a Python library, and how we use it. It says we use it by importing pandas first, and normally we import pandas as PD. This is a kind of thing which normally all the developers do, that they put pandas as PD. So whenever they have to call pandas, then they don't write full pandas, they just write PD. Let me take this part from here and let me put it in my code, and let's start from the first line and we say that import pandas as PD. Now, just because we are assuming that we are very new to this field and we may be doing something and then we may be making some mistakes and then we may be coming again. So let me give you some kind of good idea that we use in our normal practice, that whenever we are making any program, we just enable the logs of that program, so that if we make any mistake we have some logs and then we can see the logs and we can see that what kind of issue is coming. So let me go back to our friend Google and let me ask another question, that how to use logging in Python. So again we open this and okay, now it's saying that if we have to do some logging, then what we have to do, first we have to import logging. Okay, and then we just have these kind of things. I mean, we can have logging warnings, we can have logging infos. Okay, fine. And then we have our logger, and then we have a logging basic configuration, then logging debug, logging info, logging warning, logging error. Okay, so let's copy this, because these lines, these are the logging message that we can put at any place, and then those logs should be logged in the logging file. So let's copy this part first and let's take it to our code. And okay, so we have to import logging, and then logger is equal to logging.get logger and then name. So this is a instance. I mean, whenever we import it through this logger, we will instantiate logging. This name is optional, I think. Let me show it to you in this in the file. Like here, he's saying that whenever this name should come in the logging that you, so assume that you want to have different type of logs coming up, because if you have a very big app and it has many big parts, so you just wanted to know that which part is coming from which code, I mean. So you can enable different loggers, and then from here you can get the name of the logger. That okay, for example, if some part of your app is fetching data, so there's a fetcher, then some part is putting data somewhere, or some part is working on data, so you can give every part a different name. So for us, if we don't give a name, then this output, from output, this part should remain empty. Let me show you a old output just to give you an idea. So if you see that after info there is nothing, and then this is the output that we want to show. I will show you, or we can give it some name as well, that's not a big problem. So let me give it a name this time. Okay, and just to make it similar like my previous program, basically this instantiation can be done before or after this basic logging point. So let me give it a name of, let us give it a name of main, that this is main. Let's make it a bit separate from both sides, so it's almost similar to what we had, just we have put it a name. So okay, let me just go back for a while. Okay, and in the basic configuration, because we already have a file, so I will use the name of the same file, because I already have a file. So let me put that name here. Otherwise, this should save this example.log file here. It will create a new file. So let me give the new name, and encoding is not what we need, and just a minute. Okay, so encoding is UTF-8. My issue level is logging.debug. So it will take, whenever it will give us any output, it will give it a name of debug, and we can give it a format as well. It's up to us. So I can add a format as well. So format should be name and level name and then message. So in the format, the name should come and level should be debug, and the logging message should come here. So it should be a bit different from what I have made, but it's not a big difference. So, and to make a good program, it's better to give some comments. So we can have a comment here that we are initializing the logger here, and this is the basic config of logger. Okay, so we have initialized our logging and we have imported our main file which we will be working with. So let's start. So first of all, we have a CSV file, which is, we assume that we have imported this file from somewhere. So basically what we have to do is that we have to read this file, and we have to see that what kind of file it is and how we are going to work on this file. So as I showed you here, we will be doing everything, as I told you, we will be doing everything through normal, by googling things, I mean, not by any other way. So if I go back, so we can take different kind of help from different places. So if you see here, I just open a random kind of page, because initially right now what we want is that we have a file and we just have to read the file. So if you see these, because here he has imported some things. Okay, we have already imported whatever we wanted to import. Now because this guy has not provided a lot of commenting, but if you see from the name as well, he's using the pandas to read a CSV file, and here he has written something so we can understand. So let's just take these two lines of code and let's just try to use it in our problem. So we will just try to take some code, copy paste of code, and then just try to see that what it is doing and is it, if it is helpful for us or not. So here we have two lines of code. Let me put some comment here because I want this to be a bit easy to understand. So from this line we will read our file, and because he has provided a full path of the file, but for us, if you see here, our code is in the same file CSV, so we don't have to provide any kind of path, we just have to provide the file name. DF is usually used for data frame. Pandas, whenever it takes some Excel data, it puts it in a data frame and then it works on it. And that's again ask how to view initial rows of an Excel file. So I just wanted to make it a kind of easy for you, and I just wanted to give you some confidence that you can just do some kind of googling and you can just try to get your responses. So okay, okay, so as we have put these things, let me just run this file and let me just see. So I will use Python 3 in this and let me give it the name solution. So it says that it's already having some problem. Let me remove this. So because it says that the logger, the main is not defined. Maybe I have given it a wrong name. So let me just remove the main. Let me run it again. Okay. df.head. Okay, this means the program ran successfully, but because now if we see it, we have nothing to see. So let's go back to Mr. Google and let us ask that how can we print how to print the head of a data frame in Python. Okay, so it says that we just have to write print data frame dot head. So we have everything here already. We just have to add the word print here. Print and everything should be within the brackets. And let's run it again. So now you see that we have this file. So we were able to successfully load the file because we know that this is the file. We have this file. We know that the file has 4 columns, so it has 4 columns. And if you see, there is a index here. So because it's coming from Excel, so it has brought that index as well. One difference that let me show you that this index starts here with 1, and for Python this index here, because these headers are not part of the index is for the data and the index starts with 0. Okay, we get something out of it, which I think is a good startup. So we have got our things ready, we have got the file loaded, so we can start now working on it. So if you remember, we have to make a pivot table and then we have to make 6 files, and every file should have the corresponding transaction owner in that as an Excel tab. So if anyone is having any question about anything here, then he can just let me know. Okay, so we have got the file and we have showed some rows of the file. I will try to tell you whatever comes to my mind. Like for example, when you write df.head, which we can see here, we can see here that we have 5 rows of data. So it means that if we don't give any value, then df.head, it puts 5 rows of data. But if we want any specific rows of data, if we need 10 rows of data, we can give it a value of 10 and we can see. So it runs and now it gives 10 values of data from 0 to 9. So basically, as I had told you that we will try to do everything through Google, but some things which I know, so I will try to tell in between as well. Okay, so let's go further. So now we have to do 2 things. Thing number 1 is that we have to go through all of these Excel file, and the first thing that we have to do is that we have to make a pivot table out of it. If you remember, when I have shown you this Excel file, let me go through it once again and let me show it to you. For example, I make it a pivot and I put that date on the column side. We should remember these kind of things because these will be used when we will be making the formulas. We will use these kind of things. So we have a transaction owner and then we have a transaction ID. So each owner has associated with some IDs, and then we have a cost, and this cost should be summed up. So this is what we want. Then basically this is the whole table. Now in Excel we do it a kind of differently, but in Python we will do it a bit of differently. Even in Python there are many ways to do the same thing. We will do only by one way, but there are other ways as well. I mean, you can do it with very different ways as well. So I will try to guide it through only one way. So in Python, we will make data frames. First, we will, or you can say that in a different way. We can say that first, as per Python, first we will split this data between different owners. Like we will split owner A1, owner A2. We will split the data first. So we will split the data, and then we will make a pivot of that data, and then that pivot we will write in a file. So we will go through, you can say that we will go through three steps, and first we will split the data, and then we will make a pivot of that data, and then we will save the pivot to a Excel file. So this will be the way that we should be handling this. In some, maybe so in some other way you can this may not work for exactly your requirement, and you will have to change the logic of the program. But for me, because I try to do it many times, so I find that this way is the best for my scenario. So it may not be the best for your scenario, but at least you will learn how to do things, and then you can change the scenario based on your requirement. And okay, one more thing, that when we will be splitting the data, as I showed you, we will need these IDs, transaction owner names. There are two ways to do this as well. I can put this task on Python as well. I will ask Python to go through all the data and make the unique transaction owners and make a list of those unique transaction owners. This is also possible. Another way of doing is that I make this by myself. Like for example, if I put this in another file, this way we will try to learn some Excel as well. I paste it here. Okay. These are all the transaction owners. I don't need this name. I remove it. Now I need only the unique values. Remove duplicates. Okay. So I remove the duplicates. I got 35 unique values. And then let me just sort them, because maybe there is something. Okay, so I can see that this is A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, then B1, B2, B3, then C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, then D1, D2, D3, and D1, and then F1. So these are the six sets that we have, and these are the all owners. So basically, we need a list of all the owners so that we can iterate through that list, and then we can take one owner at a time, and we can separate the data for that owner, and then we can, these three things. We can split the data, then we can make a pivot table, and we can save that pivot. So I need a list of these files as well, so that when I take one owner, I should try to see that it will go in which of these all files. So I will make two kind of list, and when we will go through the program, we will see that why I have made this logic. You can use any other logic. It's not necessary that you also take my logic, because we have to make these six different files. So I will make two lists. Basically, I will make one list of all the owners, and then I will make 6 lists, each list of like owner A, how many owners it have, then owner B, then owner C, because only 3 Excel tabs will be made in these sheets, owner B. Then 6 will be made here, then 7 will be made here. It's not a uniform thing, so it's better to separate them and then use it in some way. So what we will have to do is that we will have to define some lists so that we can go through the list. So let's see that how our friend Python, how it defines the list. So for example, first of all, what I will do is that I will be defining all the owners, and then I will define owner A. And let me copy paste this thing because I will have to put it many times. And then owner F, then owner E, then owner D, then owner C, then owner B. So I have to go fast and slow. I mean, some things I will try to make you more deeper. Some things I will try to be a bit quicker, and you can go through this again and again. If you have any problem, you can always try to ask a question. So let's ask another question from our friend Google: how to define a list of names. Okay, so it says that to define a list of names, we have to give the list a name on itself, I mean, then is equal to, then the list have these parentheses, and then we can give the items. A list can have different type of items, but if the items are string, then the items should be in single quotes. It has not given the whole thing here, but I don't want to spend a lot of time. I want to show you that we can learn it through. Frankly, if I go to define everything in that great detail, then basically we should go to the Python's own. There's another way. Let me show you. There's the Python documentation. Okay, like Python docs. Now here you can find things with a very great details. Like you can see that how we can data structures, sets, dictionaries, lists, list comprehension. Okay, so it is giving us, I mean, more kind of thing, that it is telling us that how we can work on list, but it's not telling us that how to define the list. Okay, let me, if we go back, okay, sometimes these, okay, so how to define a list? So it says that if we have different variables, then we can make a list with these variables. And it's again giving us a kind of ways to populate a list. And then it's showing us some dictionaries and some other things. So let's get back. So basically, we have to, when we have to define a list, first we have to give the list some name. Like for example, our main list should be the transaction owners list. So it should have a name, and then is equal to, and then everything should come within these parentheses. Okay, let me copy this and let me paste it in all of these. So now we will have one list with all the owners, and then these lists with the owners of those names, like the owners starting from A, the owners starting from B, and so on and so forth. And how I will populate this? So we will do it from this Excel sheet. We have the names here, And as I think I showed you somewhere, if I'm not wrong, that if we put any, like if you put a variable, then we don't need to give it any kind of commas, any kind of inverted commas. But if we give it a string, like here, if you see that this variable one should be, if it is a string, then it should be in these inverted commas. So what I will do is that first I will convert these names to some thing with commas, so that they come within the inverted commas. So what I will do for it is that I will make a text join. Okay, let's see how much I remember. Text join, or we can concatenate as well. Let me concatenate, and then first I have to give it inverted comma, then I have to give it this text, and then I have to give it the inverted comma again. So you see that this became something with the inverted commas. So let me copy this in all of these and let me paste it. So we finished the first part of the drama. We put the inverted commas. Let's move. Okay. So now for the second part, what I have to do is that I have to put all these in a line so that I can put it within those brackets. If you see here, for any list, all the parts of the list should be comma separated. So I have to make a line and these should be comma separated. So now I can use a text join because this should be much easier now. So I have to join this text, but how I have to join it is that I have to join it with a comma and then a space. Okay, space is not exactly required, but I can put it any one of these because my lines are in a row. So okay, let me put it as true, and then let me give it a list. So here we see that this has made all of these in a single line. Owner 1, 2, 3. So these are all in a single line. Let me copy this and let me put it here. I will just have to change this part. So I hope you are refreshing your. So now we have all of these and they are in a long list. Let me make it here again for one last time. Now I will not be using this. I will use comma, then comma, then comma, comma, then comma, and then comma. Last comma is not required. So I got the whole list. Now I have to do one more small thing so that I can. Right now, these are formulas. I cannot copy the text. So I will have to copy and paste them. I will do Control C, Control V, and then in the paste, I will do paste values. So you see all the formulas are gone. Now I have the values. So now I can copy these values. These are all the owners. So let me put it in the first one. Okay. Now I need the owners A. Here it is. The owners B. Here it is. The owner C. Here it is. The owners D. Here it is. The owners E. Here it is. And the last and the owner F. Okay, so this is something which usually we learn from doing something first. As I told you that as I had already gone through this, but if you will be working on a very new kind of thing, then this exact working style may not help you, but I am trying to, as I told you, we are trying to go fast and slow. So I am trying to do something as a bit faster, you can say, but when you will be doing it for any other project, you can use this as a guide to you. Okay. Okay, I think this video is quite big now. So let me finish this one and let's start the new one. So see you all in the next video. In the meantime, you can get some rest so that we can start the real hard work.